Alright, readers, so I'm going to pick up where we left off, and now I want you to think about what might happen next and how it would happen. You might need to think about Grace and how she's going to continue to react to this whole problem of she can't be Dorothy because she's perceiving that just because she's Chinese, she should not be Dorothy. And her friend, Becky, also told her that. Remember to pay attention to the details. Notice not only what happens, but why. Think about the details you know about Grace and other characters. You'll need to draw on that to think about what will happen next and how. So not only what's going to happen, but how it's going to happen. The next day, a list was posted with all the parts. I was a Munchkin, and Emma Richards was Dorothy. Emma had brown hair that curled at the ends and blue eyes. When she wore the blue checkered dress, she looked just like Dorothy. How come Chinese people are never important? I asked Melody. What do you mean? She said, we're important. No, we're not, I said. You never see a Chinese person in the movies or in a play in a book. No one who's Chinese is important. There are Chinese movie stars, Melody said, and the woman that does the news in Chinese. Not a lot, though, I said, and there are none in the books. Whenever we do a school play, it's always from books, and none of the characters are Chinese. We did Cinderella, Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland. Nobody in the books is Chinese. There must be, Melody said. Just because the school hasn't done a play about a Chinese person doesn't mean there aren't any. I doubt it, I said. I bet there aren't any. Melody and I went to the library and asked for a Chinese book. We looked at the book, The Five Chinese Brothers. See, Melody said, Chinese people. Those aren't real Chinese people, though, I said. Your brother doesn't have a ponytail. It's not supposed to be real, Melody said. Who can swallow the ocean like they do in the book? But I wanted a real Chinese person book, I complained. One with people like us, Chinese Americans. You're just being picky, Melody said. Go write your own then. Okay, I said, suddenly remembering the book contest. I will. Who predicted this? Who predicted that Grace Lynn would become the writer of the children's literature for other Chinese American people and all American people? The Year of the Dog isn't a memoir, it's fiction, but it must be full of connections to Grace's childhood. So knowing the real Grace became a writer, how might our fictional Grace become a writer to solve bigger problems in the story? Think about it. After we thought about it, I want you guys to consider one thing. What is the title of this book? It is The Year of the Dog. You use your knowledge about the characters, Grace and Melody, and their journeys, and your background knowledge about our author, Grace Lynn, in The Year of the Dog, and how people turn things around. So I'm going to predict that not only is Grace going to write a book about Chinese American people like herself, she's going to do it through that book contest, and she's going to win and become a world-renowned author. Do you think that prediction makes sense? I don't know. We'll have to read on and see.